Well, hello there, welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we're about all things cinema. I'm excited about today's video. This is installment 5 of my Taste of Directors series, where I take a specific director and I will focus on 3 or 4 films from that director's filmography and talk about those 3 or 4 films to just give a taste of what that director has done in their work through the years. So the director featured in this video is none other than Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay has done some films that have really been impactful to me. Films that I'm really excited to have the opportunity to just share a few thoughts on and talk a little bit about this director. So welcome to this edition of Taste of Directors series. This is Taste of Ava DuVernay films. Let's jump right into it. So a little bit about the director. Ava DuVernay was born in August 1972 in Long Beach, California, and she grew up in Linwood, California, which is near Compton. So she was from California, grew up in California, but from time to time in her childhood, she would travel to the South near her biological father's home, which was near Selma, Alabama. Her father actually witnessed the march from Selma to Montgomery in 1965. This served as inspiration for Ava to eventually make the film Selma and was inspiration for her as a future filmmaker. Ava DuVernay is a UCLA graduate, and she is an honorary member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. So Ava DuVernay's career in filmmaking began around 2005 with a modest investment of around $5,000 or $6,000 in a film called Saturday Night Life, which was loosely based off of her mother's life. After that, she got into documentary filmmaking and she released her first feature film, I Will Follow, in 2010. So DuVernay is among a new generation of Black filmmakers, bringing a fresh voice to the Black experience in cinema through the lens of social justice. All right, so in this Taste of Ava DuVernay films, I'm gonna be focusing on 3 films from her filmography. The first is feature film Selma from 2014. The second is a documentary called 13th from 2016. And the third is a 2019 TV series called When They See Us. So the first film is Selma from 2014. This is a really, really nice film from Ava DuVernay. This film chronicles the 3-month period in 1965 when Dr. Martin Luther King was leading efforts to secure voting rights and led a march in Alabama from Selma to Montgomery, which crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge in 1965. This is a fantastic film from Ava DuVernay that chronicles that piece of history and that piece of Dr. Martin Luther King's life, and is portrayed so beautifully in this film. The cast for this film is great, led by David Oyelowo and Carmen Ejogo as Martin and Coretta Scott King, along with Oprah Winfrey and several other fantastic actors. The cast for this film is great. The story is great. This is an amazing film that chronicles that piece of history and that 3-month period in the life of Dr. King that eventually led to the signing of the Voting Rights Act by Lyndon Johnson in 1965. The song Glory from this film won the Academy Award for Best Music Original Song. This is a song by John Legend and Common. This is an amazing song. If you have not had a chance to hear the song Glory, I highly recommend break out your Spotify, your Google Music, your Apple Music, whatever you listen to music, and look up Glory by John Legend and Common. An amazing song. It is literally the theme of this movie, and it just so powerfully portrays what this movie is about and what the overall civil rights movement is all about. I also highly recommend that you check out John Legend and Common's performance of this song at the Academy Awards when they won the Oscar. It was a moving performance of this song that I can't recommend enough. Just an incredible song that raises an already incredible movie and takes it to another level. This is an outstanding film from Ava DuVernay from 2014 that I highly recommend. It's called Selma. DuVernay is the first Black female director to have her film nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. Selma didn't win the award, but it was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture that year. Okay, so we talked about the feature film Selma. I highly recommend checking that out from 2014. Next, we're going to talk about 13th. 13th is a fascinating documentary from director Ava DuVernay that chronicles the history of the 13th Amendment, which was ratified into the Constitution in 1865 and essentially abolished slavery. And the point of this documentary from Ava DuVernay is it tracks the history that has happened over the last 150 plus years. So the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution was passed and ratified in 1865, and it read that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States. So when you look at the 13th Amendment to the Constitution, that piece that talks about except as punishment for a crime is a big part of this documentary from Ava DuVernay. So 13th chronicles the history of the 13th Amendment ever since its ratification with that exception for punishment for a crime. And it talks about the history of the prison system and mass incarceration over time, ever since 1865, all the way up to current day, and how that system has continued to evolve over the years and has had an unfortunate disproportionate impact upon communities of color and upon Black men. This is the kind of documentary that you really have to think about and really have to process and ponder the information that's laid out. Director Ava DuVernay packs a ton of information in 100 minutes. I mean, there is a lot to take in this documentary, and different people are going to walk away with different takeaways and points of view, all the way from dismissing it out of hand as propaganda. Some will take it that way. Others will take it to heart and really say, you know, there's a lot of information in there that I had never known about or even considered. I need to process this and really think about this. So DuVernay gives the viewer a lot to think about in this experience. It runs 100 minutes. She interviewed people from all over the world, and she got tons of footage. The way that director DuVernay lays out this documentary, going decade to decade and period to period through history, all the way up to current day, talking about the trend of mass incarceration and the prison system in the United States, and just how it's become the prison industrial complex and how it's become a big money-making industry for private prisons, how politics and racial politics has played a heavy role in setting policy in this country. She just hits on a lot of heavy issues in this documentary. This documentary for me was very impactful and gave me a lot to think about and a lot to process. And it really resonated with me very heavily. I highly recommend checking out this documentary called 13th. It's on Netflix. And I also highly recommend checking out the sit-down interview between Ava DuVernay and Oprah Winfrey. It's about 30 minutes. And this is a really excellent companion piece to watch after watching 13th, because Ava DuVernay goes into more detail into the making of this documentary and her experiences working with the different interviewees. I mean, she interviewed people from both sides of the political spectrum, from different walks of life, from different points of view. And she talks a lot about that whole filmmaking process and her journey in putting the historical narrative together for this film. So I highly recommend checking out that interview with her and Oprah Winfrey as well. But 13th is an excellent documentary from 2016 that I highly recommend from director Ava DuVernay. Check it out. Okay, so next on this taste of Ava DuVernay, we're gonna talk a little bit about a TV miniseries from 2019 called When They See Us. Man, this is a riveting TV series from Ava DuVernay that basically covers the 1989 story about the Central Park Five. This is the Central Park jogger rape case that happened in 1989, where 5 Harlem teenagers were arrested, tried, and convicted of a crime that they did not commit, but they ended up spending years in prison. So in this 4-part TV miniseries, director Ava DuVernay does, I think, an amazing job conveying to the audience the emotional weight of this event on everyone that's involved. And she focused on the lives of these 5 young men and their families. And so you see the emotional weight and the toll throughout the entire process, from the time that they're accused, the time that they're tried, convicted, their time in prison, the time when they get out of prison, and the very heavy consequences that follow you after being convicted of a felony, and just showing their lives and just showing the impacts and the toll on the victim who was affected, but also the toll on those who were falsely accused and the toll that it had on them and their families. This TV miniseries is gripping and it's very intense. and it grips you and it holds you, and you are in it emotionally. You really feel the emotion from the characters. You really feel like you are experiencing the pain and the weight of this situation on everyone that's involved. When They See Us is an incredibly gripping 4-part TV miniseries. It's on Netflix from director Ava DuVernay. I highly recommend it. Check it out. So there you have it. That's a taste of Ava DuVernay films. Ava DuVernay, I think, is a fantastic filmmaker. I love everything that I've seen of her filmography so far. I'm looking forward to seeing more works from this director. I like this selection of works from this director in that you're getting a taste of this director in different types of filmmaking. So we talked about a feature film, Selma. We talked about a documentary, 13th. And we talked about a TV miniseries in When They See Us. So you're getting a look at a director's work in different aspects of filmmaking. So I really like that. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think about these 3 features from Ava DuVernay? What do you think about Selma? What do you think about 13th? What do you think about When They See Us? Have you seen any of these features? If so, what do you think about them? Also, let me know, what is your favorite work from Ava DuVernay? Also, let me know in the comments below, what films are you most excited about seeing in 2021. I'm excited about seeing A Quiet Place Part 2. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Fast and Furious film. I'm looking forward to seeing No Time to Die, the James Bond movie coming out. I'm looking forward to seeing the new Matrix film. And I'm also looking forward to seeing the new Wes Anderson film that's coming out this year called The French Dispatch. So a lot of great films coming out this year that I'm looking forward to. Let me know in the comments below what films you are looking forward to seeing later this year. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look to see you next time with the movies. Peace.